When you hear your recorded voice, why does it feel like someone stole your face and put a weaker stranger inside it? The disturbing answer is that your brain has been lying to you through two sound systems at once, and one vanishes the moment you press play. Remember those two paths. One is built into your bones. The other is the voice everyone else has known your whole life. That is why a 1-second voice note can ruin your day. You are not just hearing sound. You are hearing your identity from the outside. That is a deeply unnatural position. Your face stays familiar in a mirror. Your voice does not. Why? The obvious answer is that recordings are bad. Your phone mic is tiny. The app compresses everything. Your laptop sounds like a toaster underwater. So of course your voice sounds thin and cursed. Here's the problem with that. Everyone else in the recording still sounds like themselves. Your friend sounds normal. Your teacher sounds normal. Even the person coughing in the background sounds normal. Only your voice feels like a betrayal. So the microphone is not the main villain. It may make things worse, but it is not why your stomach drops. If the mic were the whole answer, every voice would seem equally wrong. Instead, only yours becomes a stranger. Wait, it gets weirder. You have never actually heard your own voice the way others hear it. Not once. Not during a conversation. Not while singing in the shower. Not even when whispering into your pillow at 2 a.m. When someone else talks, their voice travels through air. Sound waves leave their mouth, they cross the room, they hit your eardrum. Tiny bones in your middle ear move. Fluid ripples inside your cochlea. Your brain turns that motion into a person. But when you talk, there is a second route. Your vocal cords vibrate in your throat. Those vibrations travel through your jaw, skull, and surrounding tissue. They reach your inner ear from inside your own head. So you hear yourself through air and bone at the same time. That is the first path you needed to remember: bone conduction. It is not mystical. It is why some headphones can play music through your cheekbones. It is why Beethoven could use vibrations to sense music after losing much of his hearing. Your skull is not silent. It is a private speaker, and that private speaker changes the mix. Bone conduction tends to make your own voice feel deeper and fuller. It adds a low internal rumble. Think of hearing music through a wall. The bass survives, the sharp details fade. So inside your head, your voice has extra weight. It has chest. It has warmth. It has that secret basement frequency. Then you hear a recording. Suddenly the basement is gone. That is why the recording sounds higher, thinner, nasal, more exposed. It is not that the phone raised your pitch like a cartoon mouse. It removed the internal bass your skull normally gives you. But do not relax yet, because bone conduction is only layer one. The second layer is your mouth. Your mouth is not a speaker pointed at you. It is a speaker pointed away from you. When you speak, the sound shoots forward. Your lips, teeth, tongue, and nose shape it. High frequencies spray out like tiny needles. You stand behind the machine making them. Everyone else stands in front of it. That changes everything. You hear a muffled, backstage version of yourself. Other people hear the front row version. A recording hears that front row version too, especially if the phone is held in front of your face. Imagine standing behind a trumpet. It sounds loud, but not the same. Now walk in front of it. Suddenly, it has teeth. Your recorded voice has teeth. That is part of why it feels rude. This is also why covering your ears changes your voice. Try humming with your ears plugged. Your head suddenly booms. That is bone conduction getting trapped and emphasized. It is like turning your skull into a bathroom. Everything echoes inward. Now remember the two paths again. Air gives the public voice. Bone gives the private voice. Your brain combines them so smoothly that you mistake the blend for reality. Then a recording gives you only the public voice. Your brain reacts like someone removed half your face. But there is a third layer, and this one is more personal. Your brain does not just hear your voice, it predicts it before it happens. Before you speak, your motor system sends signals to your throat, tongue, jaw, and lips. At the same time, your brain makes a rough forecast. It predicts the sound you are about to create. Scientists call this kind of internal copy an efference copy, or corollary discharge. The name is ugly. The idea is simple. Your brain labels your own actions in advance. That way, it can ignore them a little. It is why you cannot tickle yourself properly. Your brain knows your fingers are coming, so the surprise gets muted. Your voice gets a similar discount. When you speak out loud, your brain expects the sound. Parts of your auditory system respond less strongly to your own voice than to unexpected sounds. Your voice is treated like a controlled object, like footsteps you're making yourself, but a recording breaks that deal. You are not moving your mouth now, your throat is still. Your tongue is not shaping anything, yet your voice comes out of a speaker, so your brain hears you without the usual prediction. No internal warning, no motor signal, no discount. Your own voice arrives like a stranger wearing your memories. That is why the cringe is so fast. It is not a thoughtful review. You do not carefully analyze the waveform. Your brain just says, wrong person, wrong body, wrong me, and it says it before you can argue. Here's where the full answer lands. Your recorded voice sounds horrible because it is not the voice you normally hear. Your normal voice is a private remix. It is air conduction plus bone conduction plus brain prediction. A recording strips away the skull base. It captures the outward sound your mouth actually sends into the room. Then it plays it back without the mental filter that marks it as self-made. So the recording is not perfectly objective. Microphones have flaws. Rooms have echoes. Apps compress audio. But the core horror is real. The voice in the recording is much closer to the voice other people hear than the voice inside your head. That is the part nobody wants to say out loud. The stranger is not fake. The stranger is public you. But here's the part nobody talks about. The pain is not only acoustic, it is social. A recorded voice forces you to experience yourself as an object in someone else's world. Usually you live from behind your eyes. You hear your intentions before your words. You know what you meant. You feel the joke before it lands. You feel the apology before it leaves your mouth. Other people only get the output. They get timing, tone, breath, awkward pauses, that tiny upward wobble you did not know was there. The recording gives you their evidence. That is why your voice note can feel more embarrassing than your selfie. A photo freezes your surface. A voice recording freezes your presence. It catches confidence leaking. It catches hesitation. It catches the version of you that exists after your intentions fail to translate. And because your voice is tied to identity, the mismatch feels intimate. You may think you sound calm. The recording sounds nervous. You may think you sound mature. The recording sounds younger. You may think you sound warm. The recording sounds flat. That gap is brutal. It is the distance between your inner narrator and your outer animal. One lives in meaning. The other makes wet vibrations in a throat. There is a strange mercy, though. You can get used to it. Repeated exposure makes recorded you less alien. Singers, actors, broadcasters, and podcasters train through the cringe. Not because their skulls change, because their brains update the model. At first, your recorded voice is a jump scare. After enough listening, it becomes a mirror. Not flattering, not cruel, just external. The shock fades, because the two versions of you finally meet. And this means something uncomfortable. The voice you hate may be the one everyone else already accepts. They are not flinching. They are not hearing the missing skull base. They are hearing you, attached to your face, your timing, your jokes, your eyes. To them, it was never a glitch. You were the only one expecting a different person. So next time you hear your recorded voice, notice the betrayal. Then notice what betrayed you. Not the microphone, not your throat. Your own skull gave you a warmer lie. Your brain protected it for years, and a tiny speaker finally took it away. The voice you hate is not an imposter. It is the version of you that escapes, and that connects to something even stranger. Why does seeing your own face flipped in a photo feel wrong too? If this scratched the right part of your brain, subscribe to Mind Itch, a new question every single day.